So now, conditional statements. What are conditional statements? Conditional statements are statements in PHP that check to compare between two or more values or two or more conditions before outputting a value for a statement. Conditional statements. Conditional statements are used to perform different actions based on different conditions. When writing codes, there are times you want to perform different actions or different conditions. Using a conditional statement is the best way to do this. In PHP, we have the following conditional statements. We have the if statement, we have the if-else statement, we have the if-else-if and else, and we have the switch statement. These four statements are the four basic conditional statements for PHP. The if statement. The if statement executes some code if one condition is true. So for writing out the PHP for if, it was what we wrote in the last one. We wrote it when we were trying to find out if the array exists or if the value of some numbers are equal to each other. Okay, so to do this, we are going to have to go to our text editor. We are back to our text editor now, and we can see it in our text editor. We have two variables. We have x is equals to 10 and we have y is equals to 15. So for our if statement, how do you write an if statement? You write the if, you open the parentheses, you put the condition within the parentheses, and the condition we are testing for is to see if x is exactly equal to 10. We have our curly brace which we open and also close, and the statement or the value to be executed is put inside the curly brace. So it's something like this. So where we have the condition and we have the code to execute. So having had this, let's go ahead and see what we have. If we go back to our browser and reload, we see that the value is true. Why is the value true? The value is true because the value for x is equal to 10 and the condition statement says if x is exactly equal to 10. Now I'll be adding the else statement to this. Now, what if the value for x is not equal to 10? What else should the thing do? Now we are adding our other condition called the else. Else statement means, so else echo the value is false. So we're having this. So let's give it a condition. So what if we say if x is exactly equal to 7, which is not, echo out the value is true. Else, if it's not equal to it, echo out the value is false. So we go back to our browser and reload. We can see that it is giving out the condition for the value is false because the value is not true and x is not equal to 7. Okay, all right. In our previous videos, we talked about the else statement, the if-else statement, and now we are coming to the if, else if, and else statement. Now, the if, else if, and else statements can execute code for more than two conditions. That is to say, if you have the first condition, it checks whether that condition is true or satisfied and go back to the next condition. Else, if that condition is not satisfied, it proceeds to the third and final condition. So let's take a scenario where you have a 3 optional situation, maybe say an exam where the option or the grade can either be A, B, or C. If the student doesn't score A, or if the student score a particular grade, it can execute A. Else, it checks. If it doesn't score A, it should check for if it scores B. And if it scores B, execute the student scored B. Else, or finally, it checks if it doesn't score A or B and output C. So An if else statement or if else statement is used when you have more than one or two conditions, mostly three conditions to execute. Okay, we go through the browser now and through the text editor, and we can see what we're talking about. All right, coming to our text editor now, we have a variable called score, which is equal to a certain number which we'll be filling later. Let me leave it empty. And we have the variable for A, which pegs at 70, and the grade for B, which pegs at 60, and we have the grade for C, which pegs at 50, which is the minimum score, right? We can have a condition that if score, right, is greater than or equal to A, it should echo the student got an A, right? So you can also come and say else if the score is actually if is greater than B and the same score is less than A. If it is greater than or equal to B, that is from 60 and above, and it is less than 70, you should echo the student got a B, right? So the last condition is else. We are not checking for anything else. The student got a C. So let's go ahead and fill in this gap with the student number. Let's say 56, right? All right. Let's go to our browser and see what that gives us now. If you go to our browser and reload, you will see that the student got a C. Why is that? That's because the score is less than B, and the first condition says if the score is greater than A or equal to A, that's if it is 70 or above, the student scored A. And the second condition said if the score is greater than or equal to B, which is 60 or greater than 60, and it is also less than 70, it should say it's called a B. And else, any other condition means the student got a C. So we can even go ahead and echo out this one, since we don't need it, since it's just any other condition means that. So for programming with if and else statement, there must be a logical thinking where you get to decide what you want to do. You can take this one and try it out with many other examples to see whatever outcome you want to get. You can manipulate it as much as you want. You can put in different values to find out. You can even use good morning, good afternoon, and good night. We'll be coming to that in a later function where we are dealing with date and time. You will see how to make a time that can reflect between morning, afternoon, and night. Okay, so try it out and we'll see you in the next lesson. Okay, we can see from the example below, we want to output the time, have a good morning if the current time is less than 10, and have a good day if the current time is less than 20. Otherwise, it will output have a good night. So we'll head straight to our text editor. Right, we are coming back to our text editor and we are having it here. Now, for this tutorial, we are importing a function called date. A date function is a function of time that helps to get the date, the hour, the minute, the month, the year of any time in real time. So we are going to be using H here, stands for hours, and that's what we're going to be using. And here we have three conditions. If the time, that is, if the present hour is less than 20, we know we have 24 hours in a day. If it is less than 20, it should echo out, have a good day. If it is less, else, Else, if the time is less than 10, we should have a good morning. And any other condition means it's in the evening, so you should have a good evening. So we can go back to our browser and echo it out and see we have a good evening. We're having a good evening because by my time here, it's in the evening. So if you're doing it on your own, whatever time you're writing or you're loading yours should give you the time. So else, look at the code very well. You have your time, set your time to age, check if the time is less than 20 for a good day, check if it is less than 10 for a good morning. We can give it any condition you want it to be. We can say less than 16. We know 16 hours is 4 o'clock. So anything less than 4 o'clock, it should tell you it's in the evening. And this can be 12. Anything less than 12, it should tell you it's a good morning. And else, any other condition is a good evening. So we can try that and see how far that gets us before we go into switch statements. Alright, we're coming to the switch statement. For the switch statement, we use the switch statement to select one of many blocks of codes to be executed. Let's say we have multiple conditions to be executed, right? Let's say we're talking for students now, and where we have student grade as A, B, C, D, E, and F. And we can't keep writing else if, else if, else if. So we can use a switch statement. Right. Now, for this example, we are seeing a switch statement where we are saying we are having a favorite color to be red. And the switch statement is showing that by default, the favorite color is red. So the first switch case is the case of red. If the user inputs red as the variable name, it shows that your favorite color is red. If it imputes blue, it shows that your favorite color is blue. And if you impute green, it shows that it's green. And if you don't input anyone, it tells you that your favorite color is neither red, blue, nor green. So let's go to the text editor and see how that looks like. Okay, now we are back to the text editor and we can see our switch statement written here. We have a variable called favorite color. I'm not putting in any value now. And we have the case of red. If red is input into the favorite color, it should say the favorite color is red. If blue is input, it should say the favorite color is blue. And if green is input, it should say the favorite color is green. So if nothing is input, or if a wrong color or another color that is not in the circle of the color is inputted, we can say the color is neither red, blue, nor green. So we can go ahead and check what it brings out in the browser. You see it saying the color is neither red, blue, or green. What if you go back and we say it should be red? We have the color is red. If we go and say the color should be green, we have the color is green. And if we say we have the color to be black, it should say the color is neither red, blue, or green. So let us take this example further and alright, so we come for the example of score. Let's say we want to output the different score and we want to output a grade, and we say the grade is D, C, B, A, and we want to check to see if a student fails. Now look at it as I did it carefully. I have a case. In my case, I'm putting a conditional statement, right, that says that the score is less than 44. Okay, and I also have another case that says if the score is less than 54, you should say the grade is C. If the score is less than 64, you should say the grade is B. And if the score is less than 74, you should say the grade is A. Well, I just put that as test data and all. So we can see that from here, if we have a score of, let's say, 60 or 49, right, and we'll save it and head straight to our browser to see what we have, and we reload, we can see that the grade is C. Now let's go back and confirm where C falls in. It's 49, right? It says if it is less than 54, the grade is C. So what if we go ahead and put 44? Let's go ahead to our text editor and make this, let's say 42. What are we going to have? It's a D. So let's say we go ahead and since the condition starts from 74, and we go ahead and say 75 or 78. Okay, that is 60, 78, and we go ahead and reload it. We see the grade is F, though that is logically or that is not correct though, but because we are using a test, we can modify it to be whatever we want it to be. So we can see how the switch statement works. The switch statement is a very interesting statement because it helps to contain so many conditions in all, and you don't have to worry about curly braces and if statements and condition testing. All you need to have is a case, and this break means if the condition stops at the first one, it shouldn't proceed to the next one. That's why we have a break. So if it's continuing to the second one, it shouldn't continue to the third one. If it passes this condition, it shouldn't continue to another one. Then the default means if no value is true, it should echo out this one. So that's just how the switch statement work. Take your time, go through the switch, and you see the assignment I'm going to drop later on. Do the assignment and we'll get back to it and we'll get to the next lesson.